Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. And who would you rather spend this very romantic but also professional day with than us and our new friend, Sekou? Sekou, welcome to the show
Thanks so much for
and
having me. Appreciate it.
pleasure. And for those that haven't met you before, would you like to introduce yourself real quick, maybe?
Yeah, I'm Sekou Tyler, founder and CEO of Royal Blue Analytics. We're a data analytics consulting firm. We do all things BI, data engineering, and above. So Tableau, Power BI, all your different BI tools. And we like to make sure you get your insights faster and understand what you're looking at. But before that, I did a number of things. I've been in the data industry for 15 plus years, use a number of tools. So I just want to keep a job. So that's my biggest piece of my biggest motivation.
Fair. Nice. So that might make the next or first proper question on the show super difficult because you're working with all these different tools and all of that. So our first question is always, what's your favorite data thing? It doesn't have to be a tool. It can also be, well, it cannot be data. That's what we have
Right.
agreed on. Other than that, we're very flexible with the answers that we're going to allow.
Got it. So my favorite data thing really is, as cliche it is dashboards. So I actually really do like good dashboards. And what I mean by that is more so the information that is coming out of the dashboards, not so much the tool that is used to show this information, but it's like, what exactly is the dashboard? And people use dashboards all the time and don't even realize it. So like if you're driving, right, you're looking at your miles per hours or your gas, or, if there's a notification that says alert, 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 right, there's something that's popping out that's drawing your attention. um, Brian Julius actually had a post. I saw this on LinkedIn the other day where he had a hospital stay and he's talking about his KPIs. So his KPIs were like his health metrics and like this different uh, levels that were going up and down. And that's technically a dashboard, right? You're looking at all this information and these insights that are not necessarily visually appealing, or they're following the Gestalt principles, or you have to use red, green, it's information that's valuable to you in that moment. And thinking about, taking the tools, like I mentioned earlier, right? I use a number of tools, but it's more so what's the information that's coming out and what is the important stuff. That is really my favorite thing. It's like, how do we draw these insights and give it to people in the way they can consume it?
Nice. I like that answer.
I agree. So basically, as long as it turns your data into insights that are actionable, this is
Yeah.
I
And like,
can very very much relate to that.
yeah, and I was talking to people. Like one of my things, as I talk about, like I have my own consulting firm, and one of my pitches, we help executives get information in 10 seconds or less. That's like my pitch. It's like, how do I get like the most valuable thing to you, regardless of whatever you're using, that you can understand it really quick and make a decision on it. So that's always been my viewpoint on when it comes to dashboards or creating stories or the information that we're trying to give you. It's like, I just want you to, I want your answer to come off quick. That way you're able to take it and do something with it.
What happens if it takes you longer than 10 seconds? Because if they promise me my pizza in 30 minutes or less, it's going to be free at the 31st minute. That's all I'm saying. No
Yeah, then we
pressure.
look at the different variables, right? What happened? Was there a stop? Was there any outliers? Was there anything else that caused that aha moment not to happen? What are the different variables that come out? So again, it's just understanding. The goal is that, but if it didn't happen, how can we explain what caused it not to happen or not to hit?
What I'm hearing, Jess, I don't know if you agree, but basically, if he cannot meet the threshold he set to himself, he's just coming up with excuses. Is that what you've heard as well?
Sounds that way, doesn't it?
Then
That's all
again,
right.
with Jess and I also being consultants, we can also relate to that, I guess. So
Yeah.
we'll allow it.
Appreciate
I
that.
also,
Yeah.
I also have zero design skills, so any dashboard I've ever put together has maybe been functional, but been horrible to look at. So that's not
and
my skills for sure.
and that's kind of, if it's really like a dashboard, and you came up with the car analogy and all that, I think it doesn't need to follow all these rules that I hope Elena is not watching because she will totally 100% disagree with what I'm about to say. But the fact how a dashboard in general works may already be getting you to that point without following all the rules that you should usually adhere to when designing a report, because the purpose of these rules is not to make a report look pretty, but the purpose of all these rules, the Gestalt principles and everything, is to make people draw the right conclusions from the data they're seeing. So
Mm.
as long as you're not talking about hundreds of numbers, as long as you're not talking about hundreds of visuals and all that, but you're really already condensing it down to the most important variables, even if it's not as pretty as it might be or as well designed as it might be, as long as it making sure people can only draw the right conclusions from it, I think. Not that anybody asks me, but that is still
We always care about
entirely
your opinion, Benz.
Yeah.
yeah, people say that, but usually just to make me shut up. So
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
cut this bit out. It's fine.
I told you before we do not have budget to cut anything out. That would
Oh,
mean post
then
production. We
then it'll
can't
have
have
to
that.
stay. It'll have to
There's that.
stay.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I've,
It's
I've
all
seen
good.
so many like dashboards, and especially recently, right? So many people are parallels between the two tools, and they look pretty on surface, but it's not telling you anything, right? It's the information that you want is not there, or you're having to click on 5 different pages to answer your most important question, or something like that, right? So it's just like always thinking about what's the most important thing that I want to answer, and showing that information is the thing that keeps me active and excited, and really enjoying data. So like really understanding the customer or whoever the stakeholder is, or whatever it is, right? But how am I communicating the most important information to them?
And also, I
Makes
have seen
sense.
some very uncomfortable truths be seen hiding in very pretty reports because the report is so unimaginably pretty that it's so overwhelming that people kind of lose focus on some stuff that's actually going on there, which again may not be following those principles, but yeah, there's that. Stop doing that, folks.
Nice. Well, to move away from the dashboards and the data stuff, for now, our second question that we like to ask guests on the podcast is what your favorite non-data thing is.
Yeah. So favorite non-data thing is I'm a big Marvel movie person. So I enjoy all the Marvel movies and all the different ones. So looking forward to Captain America that's coming out today on Valentine's Day. So
Oh,
looking forward to
perfect.
that one that's coming out
Well done.
today. So be able to check that movie out, and yeah, just really diving into it. So when I get some downtime, I'm really a big movie person, and just like to look at like what they've done now compared to the comics, and look at Reddit and see what people fuss about and all those different things. So yeah, that's my thing. I'm a Marvel guy.
So you're like a super Marvel nerd, like the whole universe and all of the pieces that fit into it together.
No, I'm learning, right? So I
Okay.
thought I knew what I knew, but then I realized I don't know anything. And so I always like to cross check whenever his stuff does come out. I'm like, huh, this multiverse is fascinating. What
Yeah.
does this really mean? So yeah, no, I really started with the movies, but I didn't read the comics, but I follow people who read the comics. So I see their opinions, and it's just like, oh wow, I don't know anything. But this is cool.
I started watching Marvel movies during the pandemic. I hadn't really watched any before that, and so we watched them from. I can't remember if we did it in chronological order or the order they came out. We chose one of them and then watched all of the movies, and I loved them. They were great, but I feel like I can't remember all of the things that happened. So then you watch the next one and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
who's dead? But we just watched some of the Disney shorts that are on, like
Yeah.
I can't remember what the first one was called, but the second one was Agatha.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that one was, they were both, oh, WandaVision was the first one.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
both super good.
WandaVision was crazy, and then
Yeah.
Agatha. I think I just wrapped up Agatha not too long ago, and that was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed both
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
The
That was really good.
WandaVision, I was about 3 or 4 episodes in when I was like, oh, this is what's
Yeah.
happening. Because I had no idea what was happening to start with.
Yeah. Me, so I'm married, and I have a daughter as well, but my wife, we have a 4-year-old, and during WandaVision, I think our baby was like 2, and my wife really loved the character of Wanda. She was like, yeah, I would do anything for my kid. I'm like, Wanda's kind of crazy, babe. Like, so,
Too fast, too fast.
yeah.
Some red flags, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I
That's
got two
awesome.
comments. First of all, I'm almost like Jess, but I never got across the second episode. It was like, I have no idea what's going on here. This is
Oh, you should stick with it. I was gonna stop too, and Kels, my wife, was like, "No, we're gonna watch it." And once we got to like 4, we were like, "Oh, you have to stick
I'm
with it."
considering giving that another try. And also, I would like to award another 50 points to Gryffindor because I think you were, if not the first, one of the very few people that came up with the right date for today, which is Valentine's Day. because usually when something like that happens on the show, time travel gets involved. So kudos for that.
Was impressive.
Out of an instinct, I was almost like, so you mean like 10 days ago? But he was like, no, today, well, in 10 days. Okay, cool. Because obviously I had no idea when Captain America is coming out, but now I know. It is today.
Yes.
Also, are you based in the US?
I am based in the US.
So we might not be getting it on the same day because I think at
You're
least in the
right.
UK, our movies don't always come out the same days as the
Good,
US.
good
I
Yeah,
don't
call.
know where
because
Germany
they need
fits in.
to change it to British English first and do the translation and everything, right?
That's right.
Well,
Subtitles and things.
in the States, it's coming out on Valentine's Day. So
Perfect. We'll check it out.
However, for a couple of recent movies, we got them on the same day, despite the actual translation being an issue. So, if not today, then probably very, very soon.
Ben, do you prefer to watch movies with the like translated into German or dubbed into German, or do you watch them in English?
Oh, I will always watch them in English.
Yeah.
So first of all, I hate subtitles, and
Mm.
second of all, I hate because the thing is, and this is true for jokes and so many other things, you usually cannot translate them well
Yeah.
enough, and also
Okay.
most people do not have a like if you hear their dubbed voice versus the original voice, you're like, what's happening?
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense because I was in Italy recently and I was watching a British, actually, I think an American show, but it was dubbed in Italian. And it was so weird because the characters' like voices were different, right? And it just completely threw me. I also didn't know what they were saying. There was no subtitles, but yeah, I could see
in
that being
However,
challenging.
recently on a plane, I saw a documentary, and about halfway in, I realized that it was actually original in German because, like, some of these things that they're saying, it doesn't really make sense, and also the lip sync is horrible. Hang on, this
So you were
apparently
watching the
this is
English version and
yes.
the original. Perfect.
Yeah, in the States, we're starting to get Netflix is starting to get more foreign films, but then they're dubbing it in English. And you, like you say, it's just blatantly like, man, this is off. Like something's not.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but man, this sync is just not good. It's not good.
No.
I think I'd rather watch I think I'd rather read subtitles than have the different voices. But I'm not sure subtitles are the answer for me either. I'm not fast enough at reading.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's
Interesting.
even worse for jokes or when you're playing with language because that never translates well. But
Yeah, for sure.
even if not, it's just like, man. Watching movies is always a perfect time also to have some snacks with it. Doesn't everybody agree? And that leads me to our final question. Also, great job on the segue there, Ben. Sekou, what's your favorite food?
So favorite food. So I recently got a Traeger. So I'm trying to be a smoker at this point. So I'm really good at salmon. So I love putting salmon on the smoker, and I'm trying to get better with my wings. Have not done anything like a brisket or anything yet, but I'm really a seafood person right now. So I would say smoked salmon and probably broccoli and like some rice. It's probably like my favorite meal. Pretty boring, but that's what I enjoy. But it has to be smoked salmon. I don't like it in the oven anymore, so I guess I'm kind of bougie in that regard.
Totally
But I
disagree
do
on the
like it on
boring
the smoker.
part. So first
Yeah,
of
I'm
all,
polite.
another 50 points because I'm pescatarian. So
Oh, cool.
couldn't care less about the brisket or the wings, but yay on the
When you
smoked salmon.
said smoker, I was like, oh, Ben's gonna hate it. And then you came through with salmon, and I was like,
Yeah. All right.
wow.
Cool.
Did not see that coming
Yes.
again.
Yeah, me neither. Doing well.
But that's my thing. So I'm trying to come up with different sauces and different types. And we recently just finished a fast, and I haven't had like any meat for like the last like 3 weeks. So I'm really excited to get on the smoker and like just create some fish on there. So I'm really hopeful that it comes out really well and that I still remember how to do it. So I might have lost that muscle in like 3 weeks, but
You got
Yeah.
this.
yeah.
Yeah, you can do this.
Jess and I will be joining. Since you're from the South, can we have some fried pickles for starters, maybe?
Yeah,
No
for
pickles.
sure. Definitely. Yeah, I got you.
Pickles.
Yeah, and I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Even though you're pescatarian, just if you eat meat, I'll take you to get some hot chicken, and everything that comes here. So I got you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Yeah, I had
And
a friend
then,
who had a smoker and made mac and cheese, like smoked mac and cheese. Oh, that was really good too.
yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
People
it's
get
one of those
really
things that
creative.
sounds weird, but it's probably delish. So
Well, think about like smoked cheese. That's all delicious, right? Then you just put some max in it.
Yeah.
What could
it's
go
something
wrong?
that I probably have to try to fully
Mm.
embrace it. So
Yeah, yeah,
But once you do, you'll embrace it. It'll be life
yeah.
changing.
I
well,
feel like
the
that
problem with that is
smoked taste
also,
is so.
I mean, smokers aren't a thing here in Germany. So the result might be that I'm like, oh, I can never have mac and cheese
Oh
again
yeah,
unless they're
don't
coming
ruin
from
it.
this. And honestly, it's not like it's something that is super common in the US. I don't think I've ever seen smoked mac and cheese on any menu. So
Well, I live in the South, so I live like not too far. I'm in Tennessee, so we're like in the southern, so like Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, like all these places, and they smoke everything. Like any excuse to just get your smoker going, we will cook it. Like I've seen like smoked desserts, smoked cake, or smoked meatloaf. Like there's just any excuse to just fire up the grill. They'll they'll cook anything on it.
I like it. So are you getting up at like 2 a.m. in the morning to start
No,
the
I'm not that
process?
intense
No,
yet.
okay.
No. I think
Yet.
the most intense I was Thanksgiving this year, and I did a turkey, and I got up at 6 a.m.
Okay.
So that was it. But no, I'm not an overnight person. No,
Yeah, that
Fun.
seems like a lot.
Total random fun fact. Earlier today, I was building a demo and I kind of forgot that we were recording this today, but my demo was involving the Titans. So go Titans.
There you go.
Nice.
And with that, we are at time, 15 minutes over, just like that, even though I'm now really intrigued to try those smoked mac and cheese. But Jess, we're going to Tennessee.
Let's go. I'm in.
Let there be an event or not, we're hungry. We're going to have smoked salmon and broccoli and mac and cheese and fried pickles. You're going to enjoy the fried pickles. They're going to be so amazing, I'm sure.
And we'll watch a Marvel movie afterwards. So
Perfect.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a date for Valentine's Day.
Yay.
And Jess and I were both leaving our partners behind for that. Because that's how we roll.
They haven't watched any of the episodes. They won't know they've got left behind.
True story.
We're on a work trip.
That's what they get for not supporting our show. That's what
Exactly.
they get, indeed.
Exactly.
Hey, Sekou, thank you so much for joining us, sharing a little bit more about you. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we shall see you all again next week with yet another friend. See you then. Bye.
Bye, folks.